Hi, and welcome to Kidney Plugged In. National Living Donation Week takes place this year from September 10th to the 16th. And in honor of this very special week, we are pleased to welcome to the show one of BC's eldest altruistic living donors who at 77 years young donated her kidney anonymously to a kidney patient in need of a transplant. Diana exemplifies the essence of what a true kidney hero is, and we are so pleased to have Diana on the show today to share her story of her journey to become a living donor and to talk about what motivated her to do this selfless act. And we have an update for you on some upcoming Kidney Wellness Hub events. So stay with us because it's all coming up next, right here on Kidney Plugged In.
Diana, thank you for joining us on Plugged In today.
It's an honor.
Oh, wonderful.
Especially having met you.
Yes, thank you. We've asked you here today to Plugged In because you have been an altruistic, or also called a non-directed living donor. I'd love for you to take us through today a little bit where this all began and just, wow, take us through. This is an amazing story. We'd love to hear a little bit about it.
I did start inquiring about this. It would have been in about 1990, 95, but I was advised by that time that I was probably aging out of the program, and I would only have been in my 50s then.
Yeah.
Maybe that was wrong, but that's what seems to stick in my mind. And then lots of things happened in my life, and I ended up in Armstrong, and I must have heard something on the radio or read something in the paper about people needing donors. And I don't know, I thought, well, why not?
Amazing. So fast forward, a number of years, you hear something that cues your mind of something that you had asked a number of years ago. And
Yes.
so it made you want to reach out again. And what was that process like? How did you go about it? And how long did that take you to go through that new process once you re-inquired?
2 years. But I must have called here, I'm thinking, this office, I don't know. But I did call, and was I too old, because I was 75 then, and was I too old? And I got the reply that no, there is no age limit. So then it started with the questionnaires, and filled that out. And then Renee contacted me. So then I started blood work, and I had to do blood work and ECG, and I had to go to the doctors 3 times to get my blood pressure taken. And of course you had to have x-rays.
Right.
And then I had to have special blood tests that could only be done at the hospital.
Yes.
And you'd be fine down here at the labs in Vancouver, but in more rural areas, it's not quite so easy. And of course, we were right in the middle of COVID at that point.
Yes, right.
And trying to get blood work done in Armstrong was not that easy to get an appointment. You'd have to wait 3 months to get an appointment. So it was a question of, hurry up and wait, go and line up at the clinics. Had one incident once where I waited 5 hours at Vernon Jubilee Hospital because one of the tests had to be done at a hospital.
Right.
So it couldn't be done at a local clinic. So that was kind of, I'm not good at fasting at the best of times.
Oh, gosh.
So fasting for 5 hours, I wasn't a happy person at the end of that, but I got it done.
Oh, interesting.
And I thought, and they said, just let it chill in the back of your mind. Don't even think about it. And then if you want, at the end of that month, if you still feel, or whenever, just let us know. But they wanted me to have a sort of cooling off phase, I guess.
Well, it's definitely, even though it took some time, there's a lot of, as I said earlier, dedication to going through that process. So I think it's for our minds, and if your heart spoke to you at the end and you were still clearly dedicated as you were, I'm sure, that was helpful, especially for someone that doesn't have a loved one or someone that specifically, right, that they're watching maybe, right? So you could take that time to reflect and make sure that was the right choice for you.
Yes, and I talked to quite a few people. I have some very good friends. I don't have any significant other or anything. I live on my own. But they were very helpful and very supportive to me. And my sister as well, I talked to her. So I think maybe it was No, I think it was just that they told me to go away and cool off.
Yeah.
Not cool off, but just have a break and get back to them. And then I did. And then, of course, the knee surgery cropped up. So then we did the knee surgery first.
Yeah.
And they did actually put me on the match donor list back in middle of last year.
Okay.
But they didn't come up with anyone for me. And then the knee was, I scheduled, so I had the knee done. And then when I was recovered from the knee about 3 months after that, then I called them and said earlier this year, and I said, I think I'm ready.
Amazing.
Yes.
So you let them know that you were feeling ready to go through this amazing process.
Yeah.
When did you get the call back to say, we have a surgery date? What was your feelings around that?
They called me back right away. It was like as soon as I said to them, yeah, I'm ready, saying, oh, well, we'll this, and this. And I said, oh, well, I'll call you next Friday and let you know we'll probably have a surgery date. It was slam bang, you know.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my goodness. So, but we carried on. I felt a little bit unsettled, I have to say.
Yeah, of course.
By, I think, 3 weeks of contacting them to say I was ready, then they gave me a surgery date.
Amazing.
Yes.
So you're getting to the point where surgery is coming up. I'd love to hear a little bit more about it. Are you good to stick for a few more moments?
Yes, certainly.
Fabulous. Stick with us. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Leave me a message and I'll get back to you.
I can't believe it's been almost 20 years since we met. My whole life has changed. Whenever I felt alone, you were there for me. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I couldn't have done it without the Kidney Foundation. And now, I need you more than ever.
And we're back. Diana, the surgery day has arrived. How did you feel when you arrived at VGH? I'm sure you're bright and early that morning.
Oh, it was far too, well, it wasn't far too early because I don't think I slept that well the night before. And a very kind friend of my sister's, because my sister can't drive, and I stayed with her and she brought me in. She's very close to VGH. And I went out and came into VGH and I thought, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
You know.
So you get checked in, take us through kind of the next steps.
And then, yes, I get, you get into your hospital gown and then you're laying on the bed and they're doing all the final, more blood. I think I gave more blood for this thing than I had blood in me. They took 16 vials of blood at some point.
Right. And you're fasting at this point too, right?
But at this point I'm fasting, yes. But yes, they weren't that time they took 16 vials, but still. Anyway, I was there on the bed and that's when I could have done, because I didn't have anybody with me and I hadn't really asked anybody. So I thought, oh, what's the point? But it would have been nice because the nurse, they were all very professional and the 2 surgeons came and talked to me, of course, and the anesthesiologist came and talked to me. But they were busy, they had other things on their minds. And so that was the time closest I came to running. I thought,
okay, fair.
I don't think I had my clothes at that point, so I'd have to have run out in the hospital gown with all this stuff attached to me. And I thought,
sounds like a scene from a movie.
I thought, I can do this. So I took a deep breath and I thought, yep, I can do it. And then eventually I went through and, then they put the mask on your face and then the rest is history.
Right?
Yes.
So that you do the countdown, right? They usually start and say start from 10 and go down. I'm trying to remember what number I got to. I maybe got to 7 and then I don't remember the rest. Do you remember?
I don't remember much about it at all. No.
Yeah, no. So on the other end, you go through this wonderful process and you are in recovery. What was the first thing that you remember when you woke up from surgery?
That part I'm a bit foggy on.
Fair?
Yes. Yeah. They were very, I have to say, I had wonderful care in the recovery. Yeah. They gave me a room on my own and there was no rush to move me out. I could stay as long as till I felt comfortable about going.
Right.
I think I stayed an extra day. But it's the same when you come out of surgery. I mean, I've had quite a few surgeries, and you always feel a little unsettled. But I don't, thank goodness, with surgery, I don't have any allergies to the anesthetic.
Oh, yeah.
So I was fine, and I got up and started moving around as quickly as possible. And
That's amazing.
yeah.
Wow. So you were in
all was
hospital.
good.
How long were you in hospital for in the
Probably
end?
3 days, I think. Yeah, they could have released me on Saturday, I think, whatever day it was. But I asked if I could stay an extra day because I needed to try stairs, and they hadn't been able to get that done with me. So we did stairs, and I went home the next day. Well, I didn't go home. I went to my sister's friend, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yes.
And so you were there. What ended up being your first meal? I know it's a bit of a progression, right? But there's always got to be a good food story at the
Right.
hospital.
Oh, well, at the hospital, I don't remember anything about the food except
No?
that it wasn't that bad. I mean, everybody complains, but goodness, I'm just grateful to have a meal I haven't had to prepare. I haven't had a shop for, and you don't have to do dishes.
That is a good point. I never, that is a fair point.
So I was very grateful for that. But when I went back with Kathy, my sister's friend, to her place,
Yes.
it must have been in the afternoon at some point.
Yeah.
And she had her family come over on Sundays for supper. So we had a very nice roast beef dinner, and I know I ate it quite happily, and it was
I could imagine.
very, very pleasant.
It's definitely an appreciation when, after all that you've gone through, so you get through the surgery, you do your initial recovery down here, but then you head home. What was it like to finally get back into your own space and, again, be gone through this process?
It was lovely. I mean, it's always nice to go home and sleep in your own bed. And,
Yeah.
and a very kind friend drove me to Kamloops because I didn't really want to fly.
Yeah.
And then a friend from Kamloops picked me up and drove me home, so it was very nice. And as I say, the friends all came over with casseroles and baking and what have you, and stuff to put in the freezer. So it was wonderful. And then it was lovely to get back to see my dog, because I'm very attached to her, or I was. But of course she wasn't doing very well, so that was a little bit of a downer. We had to go through that process, but anyway, it's all good. But it was good, yes, to be home and then to reflect that, yes, I'd done it, and I
It
hoped,
made an impact on someone.
yes, and I hoped that everything had gone well for the recipient, because you don't know that.
Right.
And I found that a really hard part.
Fair. Yeah.
I just, you just hope that that person was able to take my kidney, and it has made a big difference to them.
Absolutely. And I can't speak to the person, I'm not the
No.
person that received, but from yourself, but, as a recipient, it's such a grateful gift. But I could understand how challenged that would have, because you didn't see the immediate possible changes within that recipient. But there's the hope that, of course, that they have gone on to, even though it's not that long ago, hopefully they're feeling better. They're hopefully maybe off of dialysis, which would be life-changing for a patient, and being able to move on with living their life with maybe not feeling as sick. And what a beautiful feeling that must be. So, you're only a handful of months post-surgery. Did you have any issues or complications that came out of the surgery at all?
No, I think, well, I've put it this way, I've had back surgeries and I've had a knee replacement.
Right.
And this was far less painful and far less intrusive.
Wow.
Because I was up walking that day.
Right.
And I mean, I was out walking as soon as I got back to stay with this friend.
Right.
So that was something, after knee surgery, it was quite a struggle. So I would say it was a very relatively simple recovery, for me anyway.
At what point did you have a moment of reflection of what you had just gone through? Was it when you were in hospital? Was it when you were staying with your sister's friend? Or has it been since then?
I think when I was in hospital, it was a sort of relief that I'd done it, a relief that I woke up and I was fine, or felt fine.
Yeah.
Yes. And so it was very, and of course, I don't know, again, if I can mention Renee, she came to see me on the day after my surgery and brought me my blanket, which of course you have, and I haven't brought one down with me. I could have put it in the car, I never thought.
Okay.
Yes, my gratitude blanket, which is lovely.
It has thank you in multiple languages. We proudly have one in our home as well, actually.
Hey, honey, I lost the list for Jason's birthday thing. Obviously, hamburger, cakes. No, not hamburger cakes. Hamburgers and cake. And buns, sausage.
Okay. Ooh, eye candy.
Is it a full moon tonight? People are being weird. And don't forget to make the Facebook event private this time. Okay, bye.
Can you imagine losing most of something without realizing it? Over time, kidney disease can destroy up to 80% of kidney function before you notice any symptoms. Talk to your family doctor to see if you're at risk and need to be screened. It could save your life.
I think we reflected a little bit, you and I were chatting, and just, you know, my husband being the donor, he was able to see the immediate changes in myself, and so there was that reflection, whereas this was a unique situation where you stepped out not knowing who this person was. And yeah, so as a recipient, you know, and many people I have met that have received from either a deceased or a living donor, and they don't always know the donor. You know, people are so appreciative, because being off of either dialysis or just feeling better and not feeling sick is amazing, where you can go and feel more like yourself again and not have to. I remember hitting the day after my surgery where it was probably about 5 weeks. I didn't actually think about my health. I just lived my life that day, and I went, wow, I made it through a day where I didn't talk about my health. I didn't have to worry about my health. I felt healthy again, sort of thing. So
that's great for me to know. It's great for me to know. That makes a big difference.
As I say, the world is very small when it comes to donation.
Yes, especially the other person I came in touch with, purely coincidental that I found out she was a donor, because it wasn't something we went around maybe talking about, although I told people because I hoped it might way of getting the word out that you could do this. When I first found out, it was just that real bond that I can't explain, but we just, now when we meet up, we're in the same town, but we met each other walking the other day, and then I met her at the Caravan Theatre, and it was just like, oh hi, you know, and it was just a really lovely feeling. Yeah. And she was altruistic. She didn't know who her donor was, so that was even more of a bond.
Yeah, absolutely. To be able to talk that process through, because that clearly was something to consider as you were going through this, not knowing who the recipient was. It's beautiful to have wonderful people like yourself that have stepped forward to do that.
Well, thank you.
Our kidney heroes, as we call it, sort of thing.
Thank you.
Most of us are fortunate to have 2 kidneys when we're born, but we can live with one, which is absolutely amazing, which allows the opportunity to go through things like the living donor.
As long as both are functioning adequately to be able to donate, because those are the things I learned as I was going through the program.
Absolutely. They definitely take it very seriously when they're looking at even at each of the kidneys, right? One, if they're very opposite each other for function, that sort of thing, they may not move forward at all. I know they prefer to take a donor's left kidney. Did they take yours?
Yes, they took my left kidney. And the physiotherapist said to me, well, if you have any preference, I'd like them to take the left kidney because that will make less impact So yeah, they took the left kidney. I think it's easier to get out of something, isn't
That,
it?
as well as it has a longer ureter, which then they can attach more easily to the recipient as well. So quite commonly, I know I have, my husband's left kidney as well that hangs out.
Isn't that exciting?
But fun fact that not everybody knows too, and this isn't for everyone as well, but I still have my original two hanging out there.
That was interesting.
They don't do much, I doubt, sort of thing, but the donated kidney kind of sits in the left-hand side up here in the front, which is kind of a neat fact. And so people are like, oh, well, you only have one? I said, actually, I have three. But and now you only officially have one. So between, yourself and whoever your recipient was, you guys are evened out.
Yes,
No,
we
that's
will.
amazing.
We are, yes.
We have a couple programs here at the Kidney Foundation as well that can assist donors as they go through that process, like talking to someone else that has been through the program, and then our reimbursement program for costs. And I know you were able to participate in that to when you came down and having reimbursement for a few of your like hotel, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it did help a lot. Well, I could have done it if I wasn't, but I really appreciated it because, yes, there was travel involved coming from Armstrong. I'd lucky to be able to stay with my sister.
Thankfully, yeah.
They were even good about giving me, helping out with, I had to get someone to look after my dog for 2 weeks.
Amazing.
So they were very good about helping me out with that, so I really appreciated that.
Oh, that's fabulous. We're fortunate. We're trying to take the financial burden away from our wonderful donors to hopefully make it. It's not perfect yet, but we're getting there with what we're able to help with and that sort of thing.
Let's see, so kidney is these are my grandpa's kidney stones. They're very precious. Kidney is a bone in your back that helps you turn. I don't know, to be honest.
They don't know kidneys are vital, do you? Get the facts at kidney.ca.
And we're back, Diana. What spoke to you? What made you want to become an altruistic donor?
I thought, why not? I guess everybody asks me that. Why did you?
Sure,
and I think all I could think of was I've had a really good run at this life. I was 75 then. I'd never really suffered any major health issues. I felt, why not? And it was something I could do. I didn't really know what was involved. I just knew I'd give up a kidney. That was about it.
So in 2020 hindsight, is there anything that you wish was a little bit different in your process?
The only thing I would have been helpful was maybe I did find people to talk to who had donated, but it would have been great if I'd had someone to talk to about the whole donation process, because I really went in blind. When I think now, when I talk to the nephrologist, I didn't know what I was really asking or really what I was doing, except I just trusted the team. So that would be the only thing it would be, and I think you mentioned that you do have a program.
Yeah, you're in a unique situation in the case that, a non-directed or altruistic donor, it's not as common as that sort of thing. But yeah, definitely we do have the Living Donor Mentor program as well. But yeah, it's a great reflection to make sure to reach out to talk to someone to totally know what you might experience along the way.
It was lovely because this friend that I met or knew of, but I didn't know she'd been a donor.
Oh, wow.
And when I found out that she had donated, and it was lovely to have her to talk to.
Right.
And she said one of the things she mentioned, because she donated to her daughter, and she said when the daughter came to stay, we didn't have to work our whole weekend around her dialysis. We could just have a weekend and enjoy everything.
I'd love to hear some words of wisdom from yourself and any reflection of anyone that's possibly considering being a living donor. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Well, I think if you're even considering it, do start making inquiries. It doesn't mean to say you have to give up a kidney. It just means that you're interested. You may not be suitable, so It's a long process, but do start and do think about it seriously. And they're certainly going to check you out very thoroughly.
Yes.
Or that was my experience. It doesn't hurt to inquire and to try.
So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
You know, there's no harm in reaching out and seeing and also getting a really good check on how you're doing.
Yes. You find out whether you're healthy or not.
Right? Fair enough.
Yeah.
What's your next adventure that you're off to?
I'll go to England in 3 weeks for another holiday to see the horse I have an interest in over there compete at a big horse show. That was the main reason of going, yes.
So again, continuing to live your life to the fullest and enjoying every moment of it.
Yep.
And what a beautiful gift that you've left for someone here, and we're sure that they're living their best life as well.
I hope so, Kate, I hope so.
Diana, we can't thank you enough for being here with us today, sharing your inspirational story to all of our viewers and others that might be looking into being a living donor, or those recipients to know that wonderful individuals like yourself step forward at times to make this gift possible. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Join one, join two, join them all. Upcoming Kidney Wellness Hub events to help you manage your kidney journey. First up, Tuesday, September 12th, tips to reduce the financial stress of kidney disease. Then on Monday, September 18th, we have Navigating Life on Your Terms. Learn how goal setting and coaching can help. And finally, on Wednesday, September 27th, Stress Management and Finding the Medicine Within You. For more information and to pre-register, please go to kidneywellnesshub.ca and click on the Events tab. Hope to see you there. Explore the Kidney Wellness Hub today for more tips on building a healthier you at kidneywellnesshub.ca. Hope to see you there soon.
You have so many memories together. Summer road trips, driving lessons, and noisy carpools to soccer. Saying goodbye can be a little emotional. When you know it's time, Kidney Car is the fast, feel-good answer you're looking for. Avoid the hassle. We take care of it all, from towing to recycling or even resale. Kidney Car is something the whole family can agree on. Feel great knowing you've made the difference in the lives of Canadians living with kidney disease. Donate at kidneycar.ca.